Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us. It's a Friday. Finally, Friday. That's right. End of the weekend. It's beautiful outside. If you haven't been out yet, you really should check it out before it gets a little warmer. They say it should be beautiful weather throughout the weekend. So that's a nice change after we've had the heat from hell all summer long. Randy Ramsey's joining me now as my co-host. Randy, have you been outside yet this morning?
I have been outside since 6 a.m. this morning, gardening, hardcore old lady gardening while it's cool out. It's the best time to do it.
It's beautiful out there. Great, great weather. Hey, Randy, we're back on YouTube Live this morning. We're on Facebook Live and YouTube. Yeah, we're up and running. And, you can find us in social media anytime, though. They don't just have to catch us live, Randy. We'd love for them to do so, but they can find us anytime in social media.
That's right.
And on that little cable channel we have.
So we're live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page and YouTube, but we're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay. All right. We've got a number of guests this morning, and Randy, you're going to be interviewing the next 3 guests that are coming up. They've got a special award that we're talking about. Ryan Galbraith, Dina-Marie Steger, and Serr Brown. Good morning to all 3 of you. Good to have y'all with us.
Morning. Good to be here.
Good morning.
All right. You guys have won the Intel's annual AI Global Impact Festival Award. You were the grand prize winner. We're looking forward to hearing about everything you've got going on there. It sounds pretty fascinating. Randy's going to break it down with you. So if you would, you got time for the 3 of you to maybe go get a cup of coffee, but don't collectively go to Starbucks and meet and get one. Maybe get one at home, because we're going to need you back here in 10 minutes. All right.
Okay.
Good.
See you at Starbucks, guys.
All right. You guys head out to Starbucks. Pick me up a latte if you would. The new pumpkin spice. Thanks. Anyway, okay, let's move on. We've got a special guest who's usually here on Mondays. He's here today, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, and he's our Film Friday guest. Sean, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here, Todd, especially to talk about movies. I love talking about film. So.
Oh, yeah, we could go in all directions with the films. Yeah. But, the Jung Center has hosted many film events over the years, including a long-standing series called Film and Psychoanalysis and another called Popcorn Psychology. Sounds pretty cool. Tell us a bit about some of the connections between psychology and the cinema.
You bet. I love talking about this, and it's and I've thought about it a little bit over time. They have a lot in common, I think, psychology and the cinema, because they came of age together. Around 1888 was when the first film that we still have access to. There may have been some before that, but the first film that we still have a record of was called Roundhay Garden Scene. And it's just a little 2.5-second clip of a jockey on a horse, happens to be a black jockey. And I haven't seen the movie Nope yet. Some of y'all may have seen Nope by Jordan Peele, but apparently it's a plot point. It's an important plot point in the film. They kind of imagine that jockey's future forward. So this is 1888. Around that time, the names that we start to associate with modern psychology, like Sigmund Freud and William James, are doing their sort of initial, major work. Sigmund Freud writes The Interpretation of Dreams, is released in 1899. And William James, The Varieties of Religious Experience, comes out in 1900 or 1901. So they have this similar origin point, and mental health professionals have reached back to it all the time to use it as ways of illustrating their ideas, but also as ways of learning about the human psyche.
You mentioned the movie Nope. I do remember that part in the movie. I remember that part. The rest of the movie I'd like to forget, but that's just me. But it was interesting, because I didn't actually realize, and I'm a bit of a film student, that's what I studied in college, but I wasn't aware of the fact that was the first movie or motion picture ever made, was that actual little clip, which is historically now in that movie. Yeah. But let's talk more about how the ways that film reflect on the ways our minds work, different from other creative forms like painting or music. Right. How do films trigger that one thing for us?
Well, so what happens is it becomes, I know that we think of cinema, we sometimes talk about 2D movies and 3D movies, but really cinema is a 4-dimensional art. It adds an extra dimension to the kinds of art that came before it because it adds this dimension of time. And there's a quote that I love from David Mamet, who is a playwright, known as a playwright and also as a filmmaker. He wrote a little book called On Directing. And in it, he says that, the dream and the film are the juxtapositions of images in order to answer a question. And I have used that. I'm the guy who teaches the popcorn psychology class for the Jung Center. And I always start the class with that quote. Jung was just about 20 years behind Sigmund Freud. So he's one of these people who was at the early age of psychology as we know it today. And he was very interested in the ways that dreams reflect aspects of ourselves that aren't accessible to us in waking life. And so what Mamet is talking about here is, if you think about cinema, you think about film, dreams and films share a lot in common, right? So time works very differently in a film, right? So you can, in 2 hours or 3 hours, you can see events that have happened over 100 years, right? And there'll be these sudden changes in perspective. So you're a character in your dream, you're like engaging in a conversation, then suddenly you're watching yourself have that conversation. It's like that in movies too, right? We shift back and forth, and there are these sudden changes, right? These sudden shifts of perspective and shifts of time, and you can fly and you can do all these magical things in dreams, and cinema gives us that capacity too, right? To depict that, right?
And you can also have cool cutaways, just like they did at Wayne's World by doing the do-do-do-do-do-do, that's another magic of film that you can do as well. So do you agree with Mamet and how dreams and films can answer questions?
Some things I don't agree with Mamet about, I should say. And I do agree. I've always liked that way of framing it. Over time, I think I've put more of an emphasis on the question. So films are ways of posing a question that we can't necessarily put the answer into easy words, right? So if we had an answer, we wouldn't need the film. And there's some filmmakers, like classically, we think of Hitchcock and Bergman and Fellini, who really were reading psychoanalysis and they were using it as a way of consciously constructing their films. But every film is a way of articulating a question, right? Or maybe multiple questions that we can continue to reflect on through the construction of it, and also the appreciation of it, the viewing of it.
I see in my notes you're a big fan of the movie Arrival. Yeah. Tell us, why is that?
Big questions, right? Big questions. How does language shape our reality, right? And also, how are we changed by really encountering people, creatures in the movie Arrival who are very different from we are, and how can we be transformed by that encounter? But it doesn't, like in the dialogue, there are questions, they pose some of these questions and they talk a little bit in philosophical terms, but mostly it's about how the directors, a guy named Denis Villeneuve, shows us the experience and evokes it in us, like in our feelings of maybe fear, but also awe and wonder. And you really get a lot closer to what it means to address these questions, or really confront these questions, than we do if we get stuck on the page, in the philosophical argument. Yeah.
Do you have any films you'd recommend that are particularly psychological?
Every film is a reflection of the human psyche, right? Expressing itself creatively. And like I was talking about with Hitchcock and Bergman and Fellini, these are people, and contemporary filmmakers too, are trying to think in psychological terms. But any film that we're drawn to is probably expressing something fundamental about who we are and the kinds of questions that we're wrestling with, or that we're living in the world. So, I talked about Arrival. I love the film Moonlight from a few years ago, and I can't quite put into words why. It's just really compelling to me. I love, like a lot of people, I love The Big Lebowski. I love that there's a Wes Anderson movie. He's a Houston filmmaker. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I just can watch it again and again and again and again and again. I never get tired of it.
You mentioned The Big Lebowski. Of course, that's just, one of these cult movies that people just love, featuring the dude, of course. But the Coen brothers, are you a big fan of more of their movies? Because this one didn't seem to take off in theaters. It had a cult status after it went out of theaters on DVD.
I mean, the Coen brothers, I love the Coen brothers. They're in some ways the most consistent filmmakers, in that they're always consistently a little strange and challenging. And so I pretty consistently, with the exception of The Lady Killers, I've watched all the Coen brothers movies, and they always make you think. Some of them don't like hit me the way that Lebowski or No Country for Old Men does. But
Okay, so Sean, we're going to get you back on the show Monday, and you've got a second part of this somewhat interview. Give us a brief update as what we're going to see Monday.
Right. So we've talked a little bit more about film today, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about psychology on Monday, and particularly the notion of projection, right? So films historically were, light was projected through little pieces of film and shown on a screen. We're going to talk about the psychological idea of projection, which is that we are parts of ourselves that we don't normally see, we can't normally recognize. We are projecting out into the world and onto other people. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
All right, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, the Executive Director of the Jung Center of Houston, our Film Friday guest, and he's going to be here again on Mental Health Monday. Sean, thank you for being here. We'll see you on Monday.
You bet. My pleasure. We'll see you Monday.
Have a good weekend. Okay,
hey, Sean.
Randy, I know you were dying to jump in there because you're a bit of a film buff yourself, right?
Well, and I teach film, and I talk about the psychology of filmmaking. Yep. So Lisa Cron has a great book called Wired for Story that talks about dopamine in the brain and how the receptors in the brain work with film as an experience. And it's just really cool. Also, Lady Killers was not good because it was their homage to Sandy McKendrick, and they didn't do their own thing. That's why.
That's you go. The real story behind Lady Killers.
Anyway.
All right, Randy. I know you've got some special guests you're going to talk to.
I am super excited. I am so excited. So we have Ryan Galbraith, Dina-Marie Stager, and Serr Brown, HCC students, grand prize winners at Intel's annual AI Global Impact Festival. Welcome to the show. And congratulations to all of you, because this is a huge win. So you guys your group is among 6 winners of the festival, and technologists, next gen policymakers, academics, all using artificial intelligence. And you guys were chosen, correct me if I'm wrong, for more than 1,000 entries from 25 countries. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Well, that is huge. So with 3 of you, since I don't know who did what, can you just jump in and answer any question? And so first, can you tell us about your idea and how it was going to create change in the industry?
Oh, sure. Well, our idea was focused around indoor industrial safety. We saw a need in the industrial sector for a more robust means of trying to provide safety. And with the technology that we're using in school and we're learning about at the campus, we figured that utilizing AI and drone and autonomous movement will be the best way to achieve that.
So you guys developed a drone that would ensure safety?
So what we did
break it out for us, us Luddites who don't know anything.
So what we did was we utilized LiDAR and SLAM navigation along with computer vision and machine learning to implement that into a program that would allow us to scan a indoor facility without the use of GPS, because that is primarily the struggle that people have using drones indoors, is that once you're inside, you lose that GPS signal. But by utilizing LiDAR and creating a point cloud map, we're able to take that from the point cloud and then render it into a simulation environment and create an autonomous route for the drone.
Cool. You had me at drone. You had me adjourned. Ryan, let me ask you a question. So what industries do you think you can see served by this project?
Well, I mean, this isn't only just for indoor industrial safety for sure. It's for outdoor industrial safety, oil and gas, agricultural, environmental. Kind of has a feel for all different applications for this kind of project that we're working on, which is, you know, probably one of the reasons why we won, because it's a global impact, you know, so there's a lot of different facets we can go into using this technology.
All right, Dina, are you guys going to plan and fund this for a startup? Is this Houston's next big company?
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't we at this point? It's an amazing project, and there's so many opportunities for this, and it's a very scalable project, and we don't see any reason not to.
Well, when you guys are working on your funding and your pitch and everything, come back and talk to us more about it, because I think it's super cool. But what was your experience like at this festival? Because this must be really cool. Really, I use the word cool 700 times. You'd think I didn't teach writing. It must be a really amazing, immersive experience and international.
I think it was surreal. To be honest with you, I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's already come and gone. And the people that we met, the leaders that we met. I mean, we met Pat Gelsinger, the CEO of Intel. We met Andrew Ng, one of the original AI thought leaders. We met Greg Lavender, I believe he's the CTO of Intel. We met so many people, and we just had the best time. It was great.
So I'm going to ask you, how do you feel, like what skills do you think HCC has given you to accomplish this goal?
Oh my gosh.
All of you, that's for all of you. So anybody can jump in.
Yeah, well, for me,
I jump in.
oh, well, for me, you know, as being I just graduated in the AR/VR field, design development degree that they had the inaugural class. So I think the internship and the mentorship from our teachers, from me getting hands-on learning from being able to fly drones and create digital twins, which is part of this project, I wouldn't have had that experience. So those skills and having to come back from the pandemic and be in class and being able to hold these things and, you know, work with these things by hand and using the connections that HCC and Ruben Duran and some of these professors had, and the Browns, Raymond Brown, which was on yesterday, them teaching us what real world scenarios I think has been impactful for what we're doing right now. For me, and I'm sure it's the same with these guys too.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the AI side, being able to implement some of the things that we've learned, I mean, using computer vision to detect PPE gear and, you know, safety hazards that might be in the facility, you know, these are all things that we've learned in class through Dr. Brown's program at HCC. And, you know, we've learned to work as a team. Team building is something that I think is a skill that is very difficult to obtain nowadays, because everyone is so busy and it's all, you know, trying to get things done on your own end. But, you know, I wanted to add, you know, part of our project, we only made this global win with half of our project. There's a cumulative part of our project is the autonomous car part, which there are 3 other students that facilitated this. And there are 2 teams that were recognized nationally for this project. So it's a team of 6, and we were able to work together and bring all of our differences and the different mindsets together to make this work. So team building is absolutely something that I feel like this school has taught me to work with as well.
That is so excited. So Dr. Raymond Brown is your faculty advisor. And yes, we did just have him on because he won the UN Endowed Chair Grant. So you mentioned another professor. Who else was your mentors on this project?
They were our mentors for this project for sure. Because Dina and Serr they were a part of the AI program. I was a part of the VR program, so I had a different part in this project that I got brought onto. So Ruben Duran was my mentor, kind of my professor over the VR.
Well, and how exciting that multiple departments were working together, outside the silos to bring together such an amazing team. Thank you guys so much for being on. I'm so excited for the future. I think it's just amazing. So anybody, really quick, 1 minute favorite memory from the conference.
Oh, meeting Pat Gelsinger. Get him to sign My Little Bunny Man. That was awesome.
Absolutely. That was an honor to meet him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ryan, Dina-Marie, and Serr, HCC students, grand prize winners at the Intel's annual AI Global Impact Festival. Thank you so much. We're going to have your photos and information in the post after the show. And thank you for being here. We're so excited for you.
Thank you for
having us. Thank you.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Thank you all for being here. Okay. Our producer, by the way, Randy, told us her favorite movie, Raising Arizona, which I got to admit, that was a good one. I like that one as well.
My favorite Coen Brothers movie is Oh Brother.
Yeah. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's another good
my favorite.
One.
That is.
Yeah, that is an incredible one. Okay. One thing that's not so pleasant, but you got to do it anyway. Annual compliance training. Have you done yours?
Is due today, September 30th.
Yeah.
I know. I got to do mine.
Yeah. So carve out a few hours and get started on that. Got mine done. Hopefully you'll have all yours done. It's very important and we all need to get on board, but several compliance training assignments are due today, Friday, September 30th, 5 of them. Yeah. Randy says 5. So you want to check your emails and log on to the website. It's a very long website. I'm not even going to try to say it, but we'll have a link in our
PrecipioCompliance.com.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to go down that road, but you did. Okay. All right. So you can catch the information, but make sure you get it done. It's important stuff. We all need to do it. And you can do it today because it's due today, or you'll get a call from your boss.
Yeah. And that's no fun.
That's never fun. Okay. Time to Race or Walk for the Cure. That's happening tomorrow, Randy.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, Student Life Team Tough Cookie downtown. Register to walk with them. And you can get a Team Tough Cookie t-shirt. And shirts are available on a first come, first served basis. It's tomorrow at Sam Houston Park downtown, Saturday, October 1st. So go ahead and we'll have an email to register in the post after the show.
Okay, catwalk. On the catwalk. Student Life says, put your best foot forward. Part of HCC's Southeast Hispanic Heritage Month celebration is a catwalk fashion show. Students can strut their stuff in the fashions of their countries. You can also bring your favorite dish. They'll make some TikTok videos. You get to walk the stage, wear some cool clothes, and eat some free food. You can't beat that.
Just there for the food.
I know there's going to be like homemade empanadas. There's going to be tacos there. There's going to be all types of things.
want arepas. I love arepas.
They'll probably have that as well. Yeah, just no margaritas. Too early for tequila. Okay. All right. Film acting workshop. That's happening with HCC's Michelle Robinson. And I'm sure you're very aware of this, Randy.
I'm very aware. $99 for an acting course for HCC students and adults of all ages. It's designed to give you a proficiency in film acting techniques like content, delivery of scenes, monologues, and assignments. 4 consecutive Thursdays, 5 to 10 p.m., October 6th through the 27th on the A-Leaf Hayes campus. And there's more info on how to register in the post after the show.
Okay. The Chancellor's Award for DEI Excellence. It's a brand new award, but don't forget to be thinking about who deserves the Chancellor's Excellence Award for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The award winner receives at convocation a dinner with the Chancellor and DEI officer and a $5,000 cash award per individual. Or if it's a team, you get $500 per team member if it's a team nominations. Keep that in mind. HCC employees can nominate individuals or teams who meet the award criteria found on the website in our post after the show. We'll have more information on that. The deadline to nominate is tomorrow. So get your training done today. Tomorrow,
I thought it was November 1st was the deadline.
I'm a month ahead of myself.
You're a month ahead. I haven't even decorated for Halloween yet. Don't skip Halloween.
I've got 2 vacations and a barking dog right here, but 2 vacations on upcoming. So that's why I'm way ahead of my stuff.
You're already gone. I know my dog has been shockingly quiet this show. Okay, so November 1st is nominations.
Yeah, that's the deadline. Yeah, deadline.
That's the deadline.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Real quickly, if you want to register for the fall, it's too late, but you can get classes in. Go to hccs.edu/apply. Register today. Today's the time to do so. Monday, we've got a special guest who's returning again. We mentioned him earlier.
And Tim Pfeiffer of the Business Center of Excellence returns to talk about insurance, a sad but necessary fact of life. Much needed.
That's right. Much needed. Trust me, it is. Okay, we're going to wrap things up for today. Randy, I know you've got a busy weekend ahead of you, so we're going to let you go and get started with the weekend. And
we're headed to the Rice Festival Parade tomorrow.
Oh, cool. All right, that's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a festival going on in the Height, or actually in the Montrose area. They have this thing at 6 o'clock every Friday at like from 6 to 10.
But isn't Montrose just in general a festival every night?
No, it's on Montrose. It's on the corner of Montrose and Westheimer. So
fun.
It's very cool. Very, very eclectic. So we're going to head there later. All right. Have a great weekend, Randy.
Have a great weekend, everybody. See you next week.
All of you Monday at 10 a.m. live right here.